project is the thyroid hormone. First, I need to explain what the thyroid is. Basically, the thyroid lies inferior to the thyroid cartilage of the larynx. It consists of two lobes. It's surrounded by a network of capillaries that deliver nutrients and regulatory hormones and accept secretory products and metabolic waste. Now there are steroid hormones and thyroid hormones. Steroid hormones remain in circulation much longer and they enter the bloodstream. So more than 99% become attached to special transport proteins, and the bloodstream contains substantial reserve of bound hormones, so it's like a reserve. Now the thyroid hormone consists of thyroid-releasing and thyroid-stimulating hormone. It also contains T3 and T4, which are produced by the thyroid gland. T3, official name, is triiodothyronine and contains 3 iodine molecules. I'll explain iodine molecules in a moment. T4 is thyroxine, and it contains 4 iodine molecules. T4 is converted to T3, so T3 is the active thyroid hormone, and this is done by using enzymes. So how does this all work? Now, the intracellular receptors alter the rate of the DNA transcription in the nucleus, so they directly affect the metabolic activity and structure of the target cell. Iodine ions are trapped via active transport from the blood, and they eventually form the T3 and T4, which then enter the target cell and bind to the receptors in the nucleus, cytoplasm, and the surfaces of the mitochondria. T3 and T4 will go back into the blood since they're lipid soluble and they bind to thyroxine. Too much iodine in the blood suppresses the release of thyroid hormones. And just as side notes, the hormones control the metabolism, including glycolysis, which is the metabolic pathway that converts glucose into pyruvate. And that's
Okay, I also want to explain this chart. It was in the notes. It's a steroid hormone action. It just goes into more detail about basically what happens when the steroid hormone goes in. The steroid hormone enters the target cell. The hormone binds to the receptor. The hormone receptor complex binds to DNA and induces a start of transcription. Then many mRNA transcripts are produced, amplifying the signal, and each transcript is translated many times, further amplifying the signal.
really important in the metabolism. They also use a sodium-potassium pump to maintain a steady state of concentrations in most tissues, which is affecting many organs. Also, the calorigenic effect, which is important to know in this process as well, is that when the cells consume more energy, resulting in increased heat generation. It's responsible for strong, immediate, and short-lived increase in the rate of cellular metabolism. So let me explain iodine ions. Iodine is a nonpolar molecule important in the balance of thyroid hormones. If it's not balanced, it's going to cause hypothyroidism or hyperthyroidism. Now the difference is that hypothyroidism is swelling of the thyroid gland, and it leads to decreased metabolic rate, weight gain, fatigue, depression, lower body temperature. And then hyperthyroidism is an overactive thyroid making too much thyroid hormone. So hydrophobic molecules are water-fearing. That's literally what they mean, and portray the repulsion between the water and the nonpolar molecules. This is important because nonpolar molecules are not charged, which allows them to cross the plasma membrane and directly interact with cells. So essentially, these hormones influence the protein synthesizing process of the cell. Thank you to whoever watched. I hope you learned a little bit more about the thyroid hormone.